Now to marketing and consumerism. Joining us now is Dr. Billy Abraham of the Superior Academic College. Thanks so much for being here. So we're really gonna turn this around a bit. Let's start with Disneyland Shanghai. It's become a flop, hasn't it? Why is this?
Well, we do have to say a few things. First of all, there are 20,000 people visiting it on a daily basis. It has unique attractions and unique hotels, for example, the Toy Story Hotel, but there are problems. The first thing is that there are long waiting lines. People have been complaining, waiting 3-4 hours online for different reasons. One of them is maintenance. A lot of attractions are closed for maintenance. Another thing is that the Chinese population doesn't have as much money. I mean, if you take into consideration the price of the ticket, traveling, and accommodation, it costs more than the disposable income that the average Chinese has.
And is there anything the park can do to increase the amount of visitors, if we increase the appeal?
Yeah, well, the thing is that the Chinese consumer looks for more value for its money. They want to be, they want to make sure that it's worth their money. So one of the things that they can do is decrease the price, which is relatively expensive, and bring down the waiting times online.
And moving on to our next topic, I want to talk about the world's 100 most valuable brands in 2016. According to a new report, big surprise, Apple, Google, and Coca-Cola made the list. So, how do brands, make this list? What's the criteria that's used for the rankings?
Okay, so one of them is the financial performance. Another one is to command premium prices. If you can command premium prices, your brand is much more valuable.
Apple certainly does.
Yeah.
Right behind you, Apple there. Yes.
And of course, the thing is that whether consumers are willing to buy your product.
And how do brands become so valuable then?
Well, if we look at Apple and Google, for example, they're big on innovation. If you innovate, then you're meeting the need for novelty. Consumers want new things all the time. That's one thing. The other thing is that all of them, including Coca-Cola, are pioneers, which has big value per se. So all of these things together make them very valuable brands.
So staying with another big brand is Facebook. They're launching something interesting next week called Facebook at Work, I believe it's called. It's how they're addressing employers' worries that they're going to be a distraction at work when their employees use Facebook. So how are they trying to stay in the workplace but in a more productive manner?
Okay, so first of all, they're going into enterprise collaboration, which is another field, meaning they would be in competition with apps like Chatter and Slack. Well, what they're doing is this. First of all, they're using the same familiar platform, meaning you would not have to learn how to use this Facebook at work. And the thing is that instead of joining social groups, you'd be able to join different project groups in your work in order to discuss project. And if you take, for example, a veteran worker, he'd be able to train a new worker with through the Face at Work app.
So how is it different than from the social one that we're used to now?
Okay, so first of all, you'd be able to use Facebook at Work only on the premises of the business, meaning it's not something that you can connect to from outside. And the other thing is that the workers would be able to focus on their work and be much more productive and not be distracted by, the things that we're distracted with Facebook.
Well, I wonder if they enable employers to see if workers are veering from this Facebook at work
that would be interesting.
to scale back and go to the social site.
That would be interesting to see.
I bet that would scare people to know that their employers are watching. But let's finally, finish with casinos. This is an interesting topic. They're suffering because their clients are aging, and young people, including millennials, are just not as attracted to casinos these days.
That's true, because when you compare the games that you have through consoles or through smartphones, the games in casinos or slot machines are dull. And that's why they have to make it more attractive for them. And there's a problem with casinos today. First of all, offline casinos face high competition from online casinos. That's one thing. The other thing is that they don't have enough money. So both manufacturers of slot machines are not willing to go into new projects, into new type of machines, because they don't have the money. And the owners of casinos don't have enough cash flow nor the will to do it.
So, is the state of the casino industry likely to change anytime soon? Are there, innovative projects that they're trying to employ to attract more people in?
Well, another shareholder is actually the startups, and they're developing games which would actually combine console games okay, with what you're getting by betting. So, for example, one game that is being developed is a game with monsters. So you can bet with your friends who's going to kill more monsters, and the one who kills more monsters would win. So it's a nice combination of two things. You have to be a lot more attractive in order to attract millennials.
I see. Well, thanks so much for all this, Dr. Billy Abraham.
It's a pleasure.